So today's lesson, we're picking up where we last left off, which was on the key signatures and the circle of fifths. Well, now we're going to start talking about scales and key signatures. So a scale in music theory is any set of musical notes ordered by fundamental frequency or pitch. Every key signature is assigned a scale, either minor or major. For example, if we have concluded the key signature to be G major, it's important to understand the G major scale. Major scales are built using whole steps and half steps. A whole step is equal to a tone above or below the principal note. For example, if you started on C natural and you were to go up a whole step, you would go up the adjacent note right up next to it, and then one more adjacent note up from that note, vice versa to the left. A half step means that you're only going to the adjacent note right next to the principal note. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is if we were talking about this note here, C. Let's take it a step forward and go. We're talking about this note here, A flat, right? Because flat means to call the principal note we're talking about. The principal note means the note in its natural form. So A flat. So what's a whole step? A whole step means you go to the very next note to it, and then you go up one more. And there you go. You've done a whole step. Boom, boom, that's a whole step. Or boom, boom, that's a whole step. What if we're on C and I said go one half step above C? Boom, C sharp, that's it. If I said go one half step below C, we go here, that's it. Those are half steps. Half step, half step, half step. Well, what's the whole step look like? A whole step, again, is boom, boom. What if you were right here and I said whole step? Boom, boom, whole step again. Boom, boom. Got it? So, when we're looking at a scale or a key for that matter, let's say we're talking about a scale. The first note that you pick in your scale is always the tonic. I know it probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense now, but just know that these are the degrees. So let's say we're talking about C major. Well, if we're talking about, let's say we're talking about C major, and I said, build a C major scale. We'll simply write down all of the notes ascending from C until you get to C again. What do I mean by that? I mean, if we're talking about D and you built a D major scale, simply go D, E, F, G, A, B, C. There you go. You have all the notes in the scale. The issue is you don't know if these notes are sharp or flat. Which ones are black, which ones are white. Which ones are sharp, which ones are flat. You wouldn't know that, but you do know that the notes are D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. Just like if I told you A flat major, you would start on A flat, and then you would go A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We just don't know which ones are flats or sharp. But at the end of the day, for the scale, the first note, so if we're talking about C major, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. The first note is the tonic. After that, you have the supertonic. Supertonic because they're right next to each other. You get that sound, that sound that sounds supertonic. Moving on, the next note after that is your third. So the first note is tonic. The second is the supertonic. Your third is also known as the mediant. Your fourth is called your subdominant. The fifth is called dominant. Your sixth is called submediant. And your seventh is the leading tone. Similarly, these are chords. So you have a C major chord, a D chord, an E, an F, a G, an A and a B, and we'll get to that later. Your first chord is your tonic, the next chord is your supertonic. So if you're playing a song, well, you can grab the tonic, and you'll see other YouTube videos. They're like, oh, just grab a dominant, and then grab like a sub, and then grab a tonic, and you got your song. And you're like, what are they talking about? Because in a scale, every note also corresponds to a chord. We'll get to that coming up right now. Let's first start off by building ourselves a major scale, and then we'll build a minor scale. So since we talked about key signatures in the past, let's do it backward. Let's try to build a scale, and then let's try to figure out which of these notes are sharp or flat. Wouldn't that be cool? So for basic simplicity, let's just start off with our good friend C. We're going to build a C major scale. The first thing you want to do, guys, is simply write down C on a piece of paper. Get your piece of paper out and say, I want to write major scale. Go write down C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And that's your scale. So if we start on C, this is how you build a major scale. The first thing you're going to do is go whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. Just follow me, guys. So we started on C. We're going to go, so again, first thing you guys did on your paper was you wrote down C all the way through B. And we're going to figure out which one of these notes are sharped, which ones are flat. So we started on C, whole step. We ended up on D, so we know that D is natural. Good. Whole step. Our E is natural. Cool. Half step. Our F is natural. Cool. Whole step. Our G is natural. Cool. Whole step. Our A is natural. Great. Whole step. Our B is natural. Awesome. Half step. We've completed our scale. And boom, there you have it. There were no sharps or flats in the key of C major. And isn't that true? Because we learned earlier that the circle of fifths says that the key of C major has no sharps or flats. Let's build another scale. These are major scales. This is the formula to build a major scale. And the crazy thing about it is you can pick anything you want, guys. But let's just start with G major for now. Let's see. I want to build a G major scale. That's what I want to build. So I'm simply going to write down on my paper G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You just write those notes down. You don't have to write the G down, but you want to write G all the way through F down on a piece of paper. But we have to figure out which one of these are sharps or flats, because we don't know that. Especially if we didn't spend time studying the circle of fifths, we'll never know. But we can figure it out by using the formula for a major scale. So again, start on your principal note G. Because we're building G major. We're not talking about G flat major scales. Don't get confused. We're just talking, we said we want to build a G major scale. So whole step. Cool. Our A is natural. Whole step. Our B is natural. Half step. Our C is natural. Whole step. Our D is natural. Whole step. Our E is natural. Whole step. Our F is what? It's sharp, because that's what the formula has stated. The formula does not lie, and it does not discriminate. It is a formula that is mathematical and that follows a pattern that has been written out to follow the circle of fifths. So if you followed it correctly, we would go here and then we would end back on our G with a half step. That means that this is what a G major scale looks like. There's one sharp. And what did we say in the other videos? If there is only one sharp, you have to be in the key of G major, and that one sharp has to be F. So let's see. Okay, so we, on the circle of fifths, it states that if there is one sharp, that sharp will be F, and it will be G major. Let's jump over to something a little more complicated. A flat major scale, right? So let's see if this is true. It says the key of A flat major has 4 flats. So again, we said A flat major, so we cannot start on this A and think we're going to get an A flat major scale, guys. We have to go to the A flat and write down A flat, and then just write down B, C, D, E, F, G. And from here, we're going to figure out which one of these notes are flat and which one are sharp, because I want to write a song and I want to write it in A flat major. Okay. Whole step. So our B is actually flattened, right? So write down a flat symbol next to your B. Whole step. Our C is natural. So write down a little N, or Google what the natural symbol looks like and write that down. Become familiar with these things. What's next? A, B, C. Next is D, right? Half step. Our D is flat. Whole step. Our E is also flat. So you want to write these down next to these notes that we've already written down. Whole step, our F is natural. Whole step, our G is natural. Half step, we're back to our A flat. How many flats were there? Well, we started off with 1, then we found out B was also flat. We also found out that D was flat and E was flat. There are 4 flats in the key of A flat major, and we know that because we can double check here. Bam! In the key of A flat major, there are 4 flats, and those flats. Now, even though we started on A flat, that has nothing to do with it. The order in which they appear are B, E, A, and D. That's how they appear on the key signature. Let's just do one more to make sure we got it, but we're going to move on to minor. The minor formula states, if this would just move out the way here at the bottom, the minor formula states that we go whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step. Okay. So let's say we're going to build a scale on C minor. C minor is a very nice sounding scale. Not to get confused with C sharp minor. We just said C minor. There's a difference. And I'll just show you here. This is why it's so important to understand these circle of fifths and key signatures and things like that. This is what your C, this is your minor. Minor's on the inside. This is your C sharp minor. It has a relative major of E major. I'm talking about C minor right now. Just C minor. Stuff like that used to confuse me a little bit as well. Okay, moving on. Let's talk about C minor here. So first thing you're going to do is just write down C, D, E, F, G, A, B. So we're going to figure out which one of these are sharps and flat right now by following the minor scale formula. So we start on C and we go whole step. So our D is actually natural. Then we go half step. So write down a little note. E is flat. Whole step, F is natural. Whole step, our G is also natural. Half step is next, and our A is flat. Then we go whole step, our B is flat, and then a whole step takes us back to the beginning. Let's follow that one more time. We said whole step, half step, and we marked our E as flat. Whole step, our F is natural. Then we went whole step again to note that our G is natural. Half step to note that our A flat is going to be flattened. Then we did another whole step here to know that our B flat was going to be flattened, and then we did a whole step. So it's whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step. So it's whole step, half. I'm just spending more time on it because I'm not going to do a bunch of these examples like I did for the major scale formula. I want you guys to just have a grip of the basic quintessential knowledges that you would need in order to be successful as a player pianist or musician of your choice. Whole step, half step, and we marked our E as flat. So we've covered the whole step and half step, and we ended up here. Whole step, F is natural, we're here because we did a whole step. Whole step again, our G is natural, and we're here now. Half step, our A is flattened, we're here now. Then we go whole step, and we figured out our B is actually flattened, and we did a whole step to bring us back to home. There are three flats. They were E, or they are E, they are A, and they are B. We go back to our, even going back to the order of flats, there were three flats. It says that if three flats are ever appearing, there will always be B, E, and A. So then we come to our circle of fifths, and we see that the key of C minor is every good boy, B, E, A, B, E, A, C minor. So then you can practice that scale. So if you have a song in the key of C flat, I'm sorry, if you have a scale in the key, if you have a song that is in the key of C minor, you can practice that scale. You know, you start on your thumb, you go do do dee da dee do da da da. You know, start here, then you go here, 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 and then here, and get that set. You become familiar with that sound. What do you do next after that? Okay, I know the song is in C minor. I figured out the key signature. I figured out the scale. What does this mean? Well, there's one more thing you should do, and we'll cover that in the next lesson. It's called chord progression. And basically, we figure out that we also know that this is the tonic note, right? We said the first note of a scale is tonic, and we said after that it's supertonic, then it's the mediant, then it's the subdominant, your dominant, your submediant, your leading tone, and then you're back to your tonic note. Well, similarly, exactly the same, these are also chords. So your C minor chord would be your tonic chord. Next you would have, oh, this is minor. So your first chord would actually, yeah, same thing, sorry. It would be your tonic chord, and then it would be your supertonic chord, and you'd have your mediant chord, a subdominant chord, a dominant chord, a submediant chord, and a leading tone chord. So we're going to figure out how to build chords next. Thank you.